morning on Sunday. It is currently 8:45, which means I did sleep in. But we have some exciting news. My computer has stopped making noises because we have now hit 100%. We've hit 100%. And on our other one, we're at 100. I need to scroll using this thing. Yes! I finally turned this computer off. I think it's been on for like 4 days now, so it can rest a bit on Sunday.
There's that blue exterior.
Hello, so I just had my coffee, and this is not usually a weekend angle. Weekends are for couches, but these nails were annoying me so much that I needed to take the nail polish off. But I think this might be an overshare, but I'm tired, I'm irritable, I'm annoyed. Like the fact that I have to get these off right now is really annoying me. But that's probably because my period is due very soon, and this might be uncomfortable for men and maybe relatable for women, but just stick around. So what I do to track my period is I use an app called Clue, and you can see my period is a day late. Okay, and that's okay. It varies. It's not an exact science, and it will vary, and that's okay. But there's something about these. I've been using this app for years now to track not just your period, but your moods, a lot of other stuff that I just find interesting. I think maybe the idea of a quantified self, and I know I've spoken about it before in some of my other videos, there's a fine line between it, and I dance on that line because I love it, but then I also hate it. And today I think I want to talk a little bit about how these period apps, as much as I think that they're just for me, they're actually not. Because I've been having a period now for a very long time. Probably more of my life I've had a period than I haven't. And I've been tracking almost since day one. Okay, that's a lie because I'm going to reveal how old I am. But I don't think there were smartphones. Yeah, but when there was a smartphone and an app came out, I think the apps were not even using the data or collecting the data at the time when they first came out, but then they slowly started to learn. And I didn't know, I didn't make a conscious switch until a few years ago to be like, oh my gosh, they're using all of this data and it's actually just a predictive algorithm. I thought it was just like your period is normally 30 days long, therefore last day plus 30, and then it says your period is going to come today. I thought that's kind of what they did, but they don't. There's a fancy algorithm behind it, and all of that information is calculated through all of the women or people that have periods out there data. So there's an interesting discussion that I think we should have here, that this data, because I don't pay for it, it's free, but they're using my data. But I think for now, I just want to get this nail polish off because it's really annoying me. So let me go do that. It seems fitting with our discussion today how red my fingers are after taking off that nail polish. That was, yeah, I don't know why I even said that. So yesterday when we went to the shops, we forgot one important thing. That was toilet paper. So we have to head out again to another shop, but I will do that later. But I wanted to give a little bit of an intro on what today's episode is going to be about. So I was talking earlier about my period and wanting it to come because I feel a bit crazy right now. If you know, you know. But what happens with these apps? I started to think about, now I've got this app and I give it so much information. What happens if that can be potentially used against me one day? Because it's tracking so much of my biological stuff. I'm not paying them. They can do what they want with this information. What other type of stuff are they storing? What are they inferring from all the information I give it? And who are they sharing this information with? And what happens when governments explicitly ask for their information and how much of my reproductive life is just my own personal knowledge now. I'm going to dive into answering hopefully all of these questions today, into a little bit of a deeper dive into these period apps. So this should be an interesting one. And men, don't turn away, because this, if you have a female partner or a partner that has periods one day, this will affect you, and it should affect you. And maybe I can give you some insights as to why women, I don't want to use the word crazy, but sometimes we're just, it's hard. It's really hard to express our rational selves. It's like a fight in my battle. I can literally feel in my brain this rational black and white version of me with this crazy emotional side, and I don't know, the emotions will always win. Anyway, let's head to the shop and get some toilet paper. Okay, so we were supposed to go to the grocery store to get toilet paper, but I decided that I wanted to have a second cup of coffee. Firstly, because I screwed up this nail and I have to repaint it. So I was like, oh, I'll repaint it and I'll watch some series and wait, because I also just don't feel like going out. But because we're talking about a little bit more intimate things, I thought a cup of coffee and sitting a little bit closer to you on the floor, we can discuss on the first premises that we're talking about, and that these period apps actually track so much more than just our period. Okay, so these period apps, for those of you who don't know, I think most of the females that actually use it, or women who have periods that actually use it, know what it can track, but maybe don't track it all. I sure don't track everything, but on these apps it's available that you can track, first of all, your period, then when you think you're ovulating, your discharge, your sex, your birth control, your feelings, your emotions, like feedback on just things that happen during the day. All of this information is made very easy on these apps. And if you use it well, it actually, that they've got quite a strong algorithm that helps them predict using that type of information. These apps are not just used for, like, if you were, I was going to say like me, because I'm not trying to get pregnant, but a lot of people that are trying to get pregnant also use these type of apps. At the end of the day, what they've done, if you're tracking all these things or you track 10% of the things, they've got this fertility profile of who Bianca is. And they're getting this renewed, refreshed data every single month. So I might log that my stress increases, and they might notice something else happens with my mood, and they can correlate certain things. But that profile is known as Bianca's profile. Okay, so I was doing some research here, and there's more apps. I use the app Clue, but there's Flow and Glow. And some of these apps have actually been in trouble in the past for actively sharing this data. They've anonymized it, but they said that they could re-identify the data quite easily. And that's where it comes on to our next premise. And that this data could potentially be weaponized. And I'll go into that in a little bit more detail once I finish this coffee. Okay, so we got the toilet paper. The handle fell off, so I'm carrying it on my side here. But I wanted to talk about these period tracking apps and the data being weaponized. I know that's a strong claim, but in legal cases and in political cases, if there's like some abortion things or other legal issues, maybe a missed period or tracked missed period or tracked some other type of fertility thing can actually be used as evidence in cases. Now that's the scary thing. It's not just, okay, cool, they know a lot about me and predict my data and can sell it and then can get me ads based upon, oh, it's almost your period, you should buy a lot of chocolate or chips. In my case, it's also down to the level of like, oh, you missed your period here. There is potentially that information to be used. So yeah, it's not just creating those profiles and letting me know when my next period is going to come. Can actually be used against me, because in legal cases the government may actually require that information to be turned over, which is kind of scary. I actually don't feel that happy. I actually feel like a little bit sad. I don't know why. I'm not sad about anything. So like don't feel sorry for me. I don't feel sad about anything. I think just my hormones are really playing up and it's kind of annoying me. But, you know, when you're sad and you listen to sad music, it's great. Anyway, I thought we'd just drive this point home of these apps that we think are collecting my own information for me and keeping it there. But that's not really what's happening. And I think you and I both know that as much as I'm collecting this, what may seem like very intimate data, these big companies are actually using it for their own gain. Like I said earlier, when I got the toilet paper, I will probably get advertisements for, oh, buy more chocolate. But then also what happens on the other side, which I don't know about, but you can also track your pregnancy on it. And if you start tracking your pregnancy on it, what happens is they'll start advertising certain things to you because they know that you're now pregnant. There was a whole thing a few years ago now with regards to data. I don't know if you remember it. It was in America with Target. So if we remember back, it was a few years ago now, where Target, that American supermarket, was actually predicting people's pregnancies before they were able to tell their families and friends, and they were sending them emails based upon it. And what they did is they used, as I mentioned, I think it was in the first vlog, where they, like your loyalty card members or what you were actually purchasing. So women were purchasing more like unscented lotions and magnesium and zinc and all these other kind of, I guess, stuff that pregnant people take. I'm actually not sure, I've never been pregnant. But they were buying it more out of the norm. And they were like, oh, you are probably pregnant. And they actually sent them like, this is good for new baby nappies or diapers or whatever. And that got into the hands of, like, it was actually a young girl who, that her mother saw that, and then there was a whole controversy around it. But a similar thing can happen with this, where you are effectively saying, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm in this side of my pregnancy, and then they can sell it to the advertisers and they can target to you exactly what you need. And I guess some would argue, oh, that's convenient, but others would argue that that information is for me and the app, and I thought that I was just sharing it with myself. But I think that's just where we need to be a little bit more aware about these things, is that you're not just sharing it with yourself, you're sharing it with these big corporations. So just be wary with what information you share. And if you're okay with sharing that information, like I'm okay with sharing that type of information for now, you just need to be cognizant of what is being shown to you with regards to like targeted ads and all this kind of stuff. It's not, there is some sort of manipulation there. And just be aware. So yeah, finish cleaning. Another one. Hello, it's the evening now. I did do arm day, so that's good. And I edited the vlog, so that's good. So I did get some stuff done, but it was quite a lazy day. And tomorrow morning is laundry. But let's get to our thought experiment. It's called the bathroom mirror. Imagine there's a mirror in your bathroom. You talk to it sometimes. You track things on it, how you're feeling, how your body's doing, how your muscles are growing. It's only for you. That's the deal. One day, you find out it's actually a two-way mirror. Someone's been watching. Not all the time, just enough. Enough to know when things change. Enough to guess what's coming next. You were honest because you thought you were alone, but you weren't. Now you ask yourself, was it still a reflection if someone else is learning from it? I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the start of a week.